Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zagger-tastic stream. It is I, your friend, the one, the only Z, a single Zaggard, and I hope you all having a wonderful morning, noon, night, evening, whatever time it is for you today. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den, my friends, to another wonderful, beautiful Fantasy Fridays, where we will be doing some more campaign prep and map building. One second. I got something in my eye that... And I gotta clean my glasses a bit. I may have to let the floofins in here in a bit, because one of them is complaining at the door that... Yep. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I don't think you can. Hello, Edro. Hello, Thurman Ape. Hello, everyone else. How are you all doing today? Let's see if... Okay, fine, kitties. I'll let you in. They're meowing up a storm. Yeah, she's like, meow, meow. Printer, why are you turning on? Okay, say hi, Milk. Hi, it's me. I wanted to come in here. Meow, 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 meow. And Sushi's already in here. Sushi, say hi. Sushi, say hi. Hi, it's me, Sushi. Meow, meow, meow. Goblin, come on. Goblin. Come on, Gobbles. Goblin. Kitty. Goblin. Goblin, can I hear you? Goblin was being lazy and wouldn't come in. Ugh. Hi, I'm Goblin. Meow. I just want snacks and treats and toys. Meow. What cute floofins. I know. They are cute floofins. When they're not jumping on things they're not supposed to, Goblin. Gotta let them chill out. Hopefully they'll chill out in a minute. Hi. Oh, hello, Mochi and more. Oh, I love Mochi. I have a Mochi machine, in fact. Hello, Dark Noah. So, for those of you who were not here last Friday, we did some stuff. Let's get to the reaction channel. So last Friday we worked on the Operation Burn Box, which is the the next mission for one of my two campaigns. I run two campaigns. One is Crossfire Hunting, and the other one is the Looming Shadow. What do you... Hey! Hey! Bad. Stop that. Yeah, you can claw that. Don't claw my paper bags and shit. Let's inflict emotional damage. Oh, I got some... got some cracker dust in my throat. So anyways, so yeah, we created Operation Burn Box. And the setup is that they're being told they got to go into this abandoned drug lab before the authorities take all the drugs and all the stuff out and then demolish it. And they were told that there is a briefcase at the end of it that they need to get. Now, what my players don't know, and I'm 100% sure they're not watching. I'm like, okay, I'm like 90% sure, because it's like, what time would it be for them? London time right now. Yeah, it's like 11:40 p.m. So they're probably not going to be watching my stream. If they are, then as okay, hello, thank you for the sub, Za. Is that za like in pizza or za as in like pizzazz? Anyway, so we on Friday we kind of went through the designs. We decided no, using this formula on the right here. You see the picture on the right of the screen. I like to follow this kind of formula. It doesn't have to follow this exact layout. Like it doesn't have to go this room to this room to this room. But I want it to kind of all connect and be circular and have multiple entrances and secret doorways and traps and such. The idea of that layout is just so that way we can come up with plans on how to make it better. So if the first one, you have to have an entrance, okay? An entrance for your dungeon. Just like in real life, you need a way. You just don't just appear in a building. You got to describe, okay, you walk in through the front door. So our entrance, and generally you want to have a guardian. Like there's a reason that you need adventures to go on these missions. If it's just, oh, hey, I need you to pick up some bread, you don't need a guardian for that. That's not an adventure. But going into an ancient temple or an abandoned drug lab, it's going to have something protecting it. Maybe a puzzle, maybe a giant golem. In this case, our entrance and guardian is going to be caution tape. You know, if you've ever seen any sort of drama TV show, you know that they put caution tape up and they block it off so people don't get in. Then there would be some sort of officials, some police and then some others who are going in and out, taking evidence and things like that. And since this is an abandoned drug lab, we're going to have some ant warriors and scientists going in or alchemists. We're going to call them alchemists because we want it to be as fantasy as possible. They're running in, they're taking they're taking evidence and bagging it, and then there's construction workers setting up the dynamite because soldiers, and it won't be dynamite, we'll call it like arcane blast or something, but we're just calling it dynamite for simplicity's sake right now. We'll change it up later or in a bit. Milk wants attention real bad. Look, she's back. I didn't have to get her. She came back. Can you hear her? She's such a loud purr. So, that's the first entrance. There's sealed evidence that if they want to try and break into and get, they can. It's not necessary. They might have like some extra stuff in it, maybe like a potion recipe, and they could maybe find an alchemy station or buy one later for their headquarters that they may or may not get. Then, after that, I do like to have some sort of environmental complication. Because we don't want just them to walk in. Okay, they're going to walk in through this room, and they're going to walk in through that room, and da-da-da. Right? So we'll have, for now, we've set it up where the next room is the lobby. And, where are they getting this evidence? From the lobby. So there are going to be a lot more officers and scientists moving evidence around. And, hey, Bad, no. Do not chew my keyboard. Bad kitty. No. Stay. So there are going to be officers who are ant warriors who are moving evidence around, and only those who have clearance are supposed to be in there. So they're going to have to find a way to get in through the front door without getting arrested or attacked right away. And then there will be an elevator that's locked off, and then a room to the left which goes to the locker rooms. And then that goes to our logical location, which will be the storage lockers or the locker rooms with outfits for harvesting moonstone and other stuff. And then that connects to the garage, which is our secondary entrance. Okay, I always like to put a secondary entrance. If you can only have one way in, it feels a lot more linear. If there's like a second way you can escape out, or a second way you can get into the place, it makes it feel like, oh, I'm able to avoid all this because I was smart enough to explore and search for another way in. So the next way in is going to be the shipment garage. Now that's going to have just a couple of guards standing in front of it, and it's going to be locked. So the players are going to have to figure out a way to get in without getting spotted or without alerting everybody. Because anybody who's trying to get in there obviously is going to be doing something illegal. You might be able to trick the front door by like wearing some outfits or having a fake badge or something. You can think of ways to get into the front door that are a lot more direct. Maybe just fight everybody. Maybe they just fight everybody. But how did you get into the garage, right? You got to think. It requires a little bit more thinking, a lot less fighting. And that's kind of the alternation you want them to pick. It's like, do they want to fight their way in, or do they want to kind of sneak their way in? And one is a lot easier to sneak, one is a lot harder. So then they, and then that garage door is going to have, it's just going to be kind of a wide open space with an elevator, and the elevator will lead to the third floor and the second floor and the basement. This is all ground floor. And then remember I said earlier in the lobby, there's a locked off elevator. Now the garage elevator isn't locked off, but they wouldn't expect anyone to be in there because it's locked off. Happening here at Terminape is getting some D&D rolling. Nice. Do you like firearms? Asking because I'm from the South and we love our pew pews. I don't hate them. I don't really own any. They're fine. I'm here less for the D&D and more for the experience of Zagger students. Oh, thank you, Terminate. Greetings, Ishnavir. Greetings. I really enjoy that. I'm also a D&D maniac and a DM myself, so I'm always happy to join for discussion. Glad to hear that. I love the creativity. I love people coming in from the community and kind of, talking about their experiences and their feedback. What a door located behind a riddle that can only be read if the person is drunk. Well, interesting. Overly complicated for this specific scenario and does not work in this scenario in my head. I mean, I could think of a way to do it, but how are you going to describe to them that they're supposed to be drunk going to this mission? Two, where are they going to, like, I don't know, that adds a lot more complications that I'm not getting to yet. We'll get to there later, but not yet. Like, they only really love the drunk, and they need to solve the riddle to open the door. There are other ways to make it more interesting than drunk. Well, the whole they can only read the riddle if drunk is funny. That's not really the style I like to go for my D&D games. I do have funny characters and funny moments. Like I have a traveling kobold merchant named Snarf the Traveling Kobold, and he wears a mask that makes him look like another creature until they see what he actually looks like. Then the mask doesn't work anymore, but he doesn't know that fact, so he'll put it on when someone sees him and be like, ah, yes, I am a fellow human. Scrat, fellow human, yes, hello, I am Scrat. Right, so, but an overly complicated, funny design quirk, it just sounds difficult and not really entertaining to me. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea, just I don't think I'll use that. Dealing with some Schedule 1 substances, are we? Ah, this is fun. Schedule 1 substances, no. I mean, there could be substances in here, but it wouldn't be based on real life drugs. It would be like Star Wars death sticks, you know? Like, hey, you want to buy some death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks. By the way, for the entrance, you can make some alchemists coming in full suits, like a hazmat suit, which could help them enter unnoticed. Exactly. You see, Adro gets it. That's an idea that I have. That's what I mean when I say the scientists, the hazmat suit people. I just couldn't think of the word hazmat suit. And we'll think of the details and how to make it more fantasy later. For now, we're just doing the bones. What's the idea? What's the plan? How are we getting the characters from point A to point B? Anyway, so we're going to keep going. Alternate threat or ally. So if they go in through the elevator and they go to the second floor, let's say they're going in through the main lobby elevator. The first thing that they'll see is a room with it's a rat's nest room with these radiated large giant rats, which are like they're foaming at the mouth. They're dripping this radioactive material from their mouths, and because it's their nest, they're gonna try and fight the players. They're gonna try and attack them. The players are probably gonna kill them. The players aren't weak, and the and then in that room will also be a control unit and another door that's locked off. And that room will lead to the helpful info room, which will be our money counting room. If you're running an empire, whether it's a legitimate business or an illegal one, you're going to have a room to count money. You need a place to store the company's funds. There's not going to be a centralized bank in this universe because it's fantasy. So, and it's not Harry Potter where they have like the goblin banks. Everybody carries their money and stores it in physical locations. So there's going to be a room where he counts all his gold coins or whatever he's dealing with. And then to get in there, they're going to have to disturb the rats a bit. And there's going to be a rat leader, a rat who's been mutated so much he's got this humanoid rat form. He's like the rat. He's like Splinter, but evil. Then if they want to go downstairs through the elevator, it will lead to the basement floor, which is the main area they need to get to. And there will be our resource drain. Now, we want a room that is going to force the players to drain some resources to get through. The reason is because when they get to the boss, we want them tired. We don't want them all like, oh, I'm gonna go like I have all my HP and I drink like 10,000 potions and stuff. No, they're gonna get there and be like, okay, I'm down to like 2 potions. I'm almost out of mana. You know, and that room will be like a testing room where they were testing the all their drugs on people and animals, and there will be these lab chairs, kind of like a dentist chair, but it holds you in and then it injects you with random chemicals, and there'll be live wires hanging from the ceiling, and there'll be these weird vines that attack you, and a couple of deranged ant warriors who went down there who like got some chemical spray in them that made them go crazy. Hey. They all want to scratch this one back, and I don't want them to do that because it's going to make a mess. And a thing I thought of is, from that control room, there's going to be a glass window that looks down, and they can see all this stuff from the control room, so they might be able to turn on some machines, turn some off. You know, that'll be a complication puzzle that we can add to it. And then connected to that room is the armory, which will have some magic items, some special info. I haven't decided what. A counselor pass seal that can be used, you know, to break it into some of the closed off sections of the city for now. And the next room will be the final boss, where we have a corrupted myconid who is controlling plants, and he's going to have all these powers. We haven't decided what abilities he has yet, but we know he's going to have plant controlling abilities, probably some poison gases, some spores, something like that. And then once you defeat him, that's when they'll get the briefcase that they're trying to get to, and that's when we'll reveal the twist that the briefcase is actually a mimic, and what the guy who sent them here wants isn't the briefcase, but what's inside the briefcase. Ik spreek in English? I sprechen. I mean, you've been talking about some poisonous spores. I'd say it's a good explanation for the suits in the first place. Exactly. No, I'm not saying... yeah, we'll add in the suits later, but for now I'm just going over the rough details with you guys. And while you guys were gone, in between last Friday and this Friday, I kind of detailed it a bit more, described which way it goes. So, you know, let's see. Cautionate, condemn signs, idle city workers, officials gathering. Now, that is very useful and important. But what we need to do...
Someone has entered the dragon's den.
Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us. Who has followed? Who has clicked the follow? I don't know why it's not showing. Why is it not showing my... That's weird. Why is this being weird? Oh, meow off. Did someone sub on YouTube? Is that it? He was a mimic inside. Lol. Okay, this might not work the way I want it to. So we're gonna have to cover up this for a bit. What do you want? I'm gonna leave this a little bit open because it is a bit stuffy in here. He was meowing at the door. They always complain to get in, and then once they're in here, they're like, "Wait, I want to go." Change the door that opens in the opposite direction of a normal that can't be destroyed by anything. Basically, an early model Nokia in door form. Interesting. Oh God, a Ratatouille. He wants a mimic inside. So Disney dropped a new teaser for Percy Jackson season 2. I did a reaction video, put it on Discord. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. The only opinion I had is Tyson does not look like Tyson. He looks too good. But I kind of expected them to make him look good. Disney does not know how to make characters actually look ugly, like they're described. Well, anyway, so we got we're in Dungeon Scrawl here. Let's see how it looks on your end. Let's boop. Let's we'll just have Dungeon Scrawl be visible for you guys, and then I'll have the notes to my side here. So first we want to make an entranceway, right? So this is a building. It's gonna have its right angles and stuff. I barely use Dungeon Scrawl because I don't actually make a lot of Goblin. Why? Why do you have to open every door all the way? He's looking at me like, what? What'd I do? What'd I do? What? Is there something? I guess he's cooling the room down for me, so fine. Silly gobbles. Thankfully, there's no one home right now, so I don't gotta worry about someone jumping in the middle of the video. So I'm not sure if it's a good idea, but maybe the myconid can have a poisoning ability, which triggers every second turn. And if you fail wisdom save, you attack person closest to you. Well, we'll get to there after we build. Let's build the map first, then decide gameplay mechanics. Because if we don't have a map, but we have the items, it's not going to look as entertaining for the players. So we'll leave it on. Actually, I kind of like that view. This is my preferred view for it. So this is going to be the front area, and let's Home Alone. Interesting. Let's see, how big would a courtyard be if this was since this is supposed to be somewhat medieval, it wouldn't be ginormous. It wouldn't have like a parking lot size. It would probably be just big enough to fit maybe 1 or 2 carriages. And let's say a carriage takes about 3 squares. So let's say like that. Okay? So this would be how big the front is. Feeling a little small, but I think I can work with this. Oops, I'm still on erase. There we go. Now this looks like a separate building, and this is just a front area where people are walking around. Maybe I'll... Goblin, I swear to God. Might make this a little bigger. And then let's set some walls. This is the wall, right? Yep. If my cat does that one more time, I swear to God. Okay, that's it. Stop it. He always wants me to get up and start moving when I'm in the middle of something. Kid went missing in my... Yeah, Terminate. I don't really want to know about that. Like, that sucks, but I don't... That's not the vibes we want to go for in this kind of stream. Like, if I bring up, like, hey, talk about a weird story that happened recently, cool. But otherwise, let's leave that up to the news to talk about. Damn it. Let's go to the... Okay, so let's see. This is going to be the opening area, and we'll add some more details to it later. Then this will go into the lobby here. Let's say this is the lobby, and we'll add a wall right here. Oops, I'm on erase still. And then this can be the locker rooms. And so this will be the lobby with the elevator over here. So let's start adding some doors. Let's say it has large double doors there. And then It's garage, and then we'll give it a lot. We'll actually give it a huge door because it's supposed to be a drop-off point for carriages to come in with materials and things, right? So we got our front entrance and our front doorways, and then here's a little thing. So while this works perfectly, it's a little plain looking to me, right? It's all boxy, and yes, buildings would be boxy, but buildings also have curves. They have diagonal edges, right? So let's add a wall here like that, and a wall there like that, and then this one would stay square shaped to fit in more. Yeah, we'll just delete that like that for now. And let's turn on the music. Can you guys hear it okay? And turn it up a bit. Let me know if you can hear it. Let me know if it's louder than me. I gotta rub my eyes for a second. So now it has a little bit more character because it's got these diagonal curves to it. And then we're gonna take the we're gonna continue on. So this is our first floor. It has the doorway, the front lobby, the shipment garage, and the locker rooms. So this is technically 4 rooms here. And then we're gonna write down what each room is. So a 1, and then we'll put that to 100 for now. And then where's the... Can you let me move you? Nope. Okay, now this one will be, let's see, the locker room. It says 4 on my notes, but I'll change it later. And we're just putting this here for now, so that way we can label things. Right. And then we'll write over here. One. Outside or front door outside. I always forget that you can't go back. Or if you can, I don't remember how. Front door outside. And then 2 is lobby. 3 locker rooms. 4 garage. And we'll call this First floor. First floor rooms. Right? And then we'll say 1E, elevator, first floor. 2E, elevator, second floor. 3E, or BE, elevator, basement, floor. Let's actually raise this to 100. And then we'll add in an elevator for both sides, because we said there is one. So here will be, how big of an elevator? This is 4x4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's elevator 1. And elevator 2. And we'll put a door here. And we'll put a door here. And then later we'll put a locked symbol over that door. Okay, so now we know. And then let's make this, what do we call it? 1E. There we go. So now we have our ground floor. Hold on, who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down. He's going cats. Your cat be doing cat stuff. There's a reference. That's a reference to Family Guy. Yeah, I know. Who the hell starts a conversation like that? I just sat down here. Let's find it. Family Guy. Where is it? Yeah, that one. Freaking Quagmire. What did Quagmire say? I forget. What am I doing? I am working on my D&D map for my players for my Crossfire and Cunning game. Sometimes I wish I could disappear, but then I remember that the world would be a better place without me, so I keep living. Thinking Adro. Popular opinion, it's good to add some supporting pillars in big rooms. Not only does it make it more realistic, but it also gives cover during a fight or sneaking. I wouldn't say it's an unpopular opinion. I might use that. We'll see. Why is it upside down? My computer screen is upside down. What do you mean it's upside down? I'm confused. Oh, on the. Oh, that is weird. Let me fix that. On the vertical monitor, it's flipped upside down. That's interesting. Why did that happen? Did I accidentally flip horizontal? There we go. Didn't realize that was the case until just now. Okay, so now we can move on to floor 2, where we're gonna have the it's gonna be office wings and you know, stuff like that, where it's gonna so first, oops, I always forget it's middle mouse to move around, not right click. So first, let's start from the elevator. Since we decided they are 1, 2. Yeah, it's a 4x4. You know, I'm thinking we move this down and move. Oops, wrong. I meant to do walls. Now it's full 4x4. Cool, cool, cool. And so then from the elevator, right, they're going to step out and they're going to see a bunch of office rooms where there's going to be random rats and vines attacking them to kind of set up for later. And then also explain why this room was cut off, right? So let's go back to the room. And let's not make it too big. And then we're going to cut off the... Let it go full. And this one's not full either. There we go. And then we cut off the corners here. Every time. How did I do that again? It just makes everything feel a little less boxy. Trying to remember how to fill this in triangularly. Yeah, we'll just do this for now. I might have, I went a little too, okay, so. And so this will be the office space. There will be desks and things. Again, we're not going to fill those in yet. We'll fill them in later. But for now, we'll have desks and desks and vines and things all set up in this room, and some rats. And then that will lead into the rest of floor 2. So let's see there. What's left? The frills office, observation room, and the money counting room. Right? So let's say the observation room is, if this is the right side. Ooh. I might need to... trying to remember how to move something over. Oh, well, we'll deal with it. We'll just deal with it. And let's say the observation room is over here. And it's quite large because it's where they're watching over all their experiments. And the money counting room would be this way. Maybe the building has like a section that floats over. Just saying I'm not depressive or anything. The thing about keeping alive is also a name and a god. One cool. Just like my grandma, we're going down. To the first lab floor, of course. The office. Zaggard, good man. Sorry, but I'll have to head out because I need some sleep. Yeah, go sleep, Adro. Wish all the people present good night, and Dan, a blast on stream. Thank you. Thank you. Stick around as long as you can. I'm glad you're getting some schlep now. So let's say his office is actually only that big. Right? He keeps his office kind of small. And his money room is actually just as big as his office. In fact, let's make it bigger. Make it feel really cramped every time. And we'll add a door here. And erase this wall there. Oh, we're on draw. I thought we were on erase. And then we'll just have like some desks and things here and there. Okay, now let's label these. Oops, I forgot to add a door. Let's let it be cyclical. We'll give it a single door there. And that also has a single door. That way they can kind of go in a circle here, and then they can get in there. And then what number did we say was second floor was 2E? Is this lined up? No, it's not. There we go. That's lined up enough. Okay. So now we just have to relabel these. Let's see. First will be room 5. That's going to be our offices. And then Frill's office, room 6. The observation room 7. And the treasure room, room 8. Or not treasure, but money counting room. Okay, so now we know and then we'll write our keynotes here. Actually, let's copy and paste this. Second floor rooms. Oops. And this is the offices. Is Frill's office number 6? Yeah, Frill's office. We'll call it desk room, so that way it's clear. Desk room. Observation room. And money counting. Obviously, Frill's favorite room is the money counting room. And we'll move all this down. Whose office this is again? It's Frill's. It's Frill's office. Money counting like Mr. Krabs. Exactly. $1, $2, $3, $4. Okay, now we go to the basement. The basement. And we gotta have the layout play out similar. Oh, we need a second elevator. I just remembered. Because only the because both floors can go, both elevators can get to the second floor, but only one of them can get to the third floor. So we gotta okay, so then we let's start on the third floor rooms. So let's put it over here. This just makes it easier for my layout. I know where what is. Now we're gonna put. First, we start from the elevator every time. And just so that way I don't worry about overlap. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the elevator basement. B. And let's see, what rooms do we have in the basement? We have the testing room, the armory, and the garden. So it only has 3 rooms in the basement, but by that time, they'll have gone through presumably at least 2 to 3 rooms. So a total of like 5. So first, the testing room. Let's make it 1, 2, 3. And remember, this room looks down into the testing room, so it makes sense that they would fit with each other. So this goes 11 by 11. First, let's okay. Yep, okay, there we go. That works. And then we just go. And then we'll have the armory here. And then the garden is going to be the large boss room. And I like to always make the large boss rooms a different shape just because I can. Let's actually start by making it. Yeah, that's good enough. No, I hate that. Yeah, this gives it this weird corner feel, which my brain hates, but I kind of love. Not gonna lie. I love it because it makes it feel weird and alien. And we'll add that. We'll erase here. Makes it feel even more disconnected, like it's only connected through that. And let's add our doors. And we'll even have this have a double door. And maybe we'll add in like the only way to get in through here is to get the key and the passcode, right? We can add in some more ways to make it complicated to get in. Left and right are switches. 7 is facing right, not left. Huh. That's weird as heck. Garden being a hexagon is cool. Agreed. Garden hexagon would be so cool. So they so let's label this now so that way we know what we're doing. Okay, so what were the... I have to sneeze. Okay, I don't have to sneeze. Sorry, I lied. I did have to sneeze. Then... Let's see, it's... 9, 10, 11. Nine is testing room. 10 is garden boss. And armory. Okay, so now we have our basic layout. Let's move this a little closer. In fact, okay, so now we have our let's save this. And let's call this Frills Abandoned Lab. Double door. Would the door behind you close and before the door in front opens? Sort of gas that cleans the air or something. Ooh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I love that idea. Okay, so I love that idea, not gonna lie. So we need to make this actually bigger. Yeah, we'll make it a double door, and you have to put the key in the first door to open it, and then the passcode in the second door. Can there be an animal that got a hold of the drugs, similar to Cocaine Bear, that they have to fight, like a kobold that drank or ate something? It's an interesting idea. We could definitely play around with that. Okay, so 9, 10, 11. Let me just center these. and then resave this. And now let's download it one time with all the notes. I should be able to just export this because I do have an account. So give me a minute to figure this out. This is why you always save your work, chat. Do I have to go in through the Discord? Give me a second. It's been like I don't use it very often. I should have something. One second, guys. I have to go BRB. All right, we're back. We're back. I think I solved the problem we have. Okay, it was just opening. Bapu, 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 bapu. Okay, now we add in our guys here. So we're on Affinity Photo, and I was able to export them. This one came out a little weird, so we're gonna fix that first. Let's just paint over it with this white. There we go. Now you have no idea it was there. So we'll go back to the first floor. We know we have a layout of what the floors are gonna look like, so I don't need to label them again. We have that written down. So now we start adding in some set pieces to kind of help fill the vibe of what we're going for, and then we're gonna send it. Where'd that open? I just realized I didn't save the doors or anything. Yeah, that's fine. No big deal. We know where the doors are. Here, 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 here. And let's look up some... D&D door digital token. Image digital. And we'll just take this. And we'll zoom in and we'll pick a door we like. We like these two probably the most. So let's cut them out. So cheese, any like cheese? Cheese is fine. Not a huge fan of cheese. I used to hate cheese. I've only started liking it more now as an adult. Because it just adds flavor to certain meals that really need it. And then we'll... first we rasterize and trim. Then we're going to duplicate. And for one of them, we delete this. Now, it looks like I haven't deleted it because it's only deleting it on the top image here. And this one we delete. And now, they're separate images. Okay, so now we're going to place our doors where we want them. Oops. So we'll put one set of doors here. One door here. We'll put it there. That way they have to walk through. They can't just run right to the next door. And this one will make extra wide. Or perhaps we... let's find another door we like. This is a garage door. There's not another one I like. So we'll just do what I did last. Oops. Go here, and then we'll just make it bigger. That way the image quality still looks the same. But it's bigger like I wanted. And then this is the elevator doors. So thought I was holding control, but I was not. Let's line this up as best we can. That's good. This lined up. No, it's not. There we go. Can I have your eggplant? I see you haven't eaten it, and I don't want to rot it in your fridge. I don't eat eggplant, so no. By the way, I got about 20 seconds stream delay. That's normal. That's fine. 20 seconds isn't really anything. Is there a food that you... Oh, I forgot to add a question of the day for today. My bad. I knew there was something I forgot to do today. Okay, so now we've got our doors. This is a being vegetarian limits my consumption and not eat meat. I can't think of much that I wouldn't eat. Okay, so now we want a stack of crates. Now you want like crates and things, so because we want it to make look like there's a bunch of stuff they can move around. Or that they've got to walk around, I mean. Okay, we're gonna do the same again, and we're gonna leave the we're gonna cut out the main image we want to use. I know there's probably a faster, easier way to do this, but I am lazy, and this is the way I know how. And I don't want to search up a tutorial on how to just quickly blah, 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 blah. Plus, this is quick and clean enough. That looks good. Cool. Now for the next one. And remember, our images don't need to be perfect. They just need to be good enough. Okay, so now we gotta stack these crates. Each one is gonna be that big, and then the barrel should be about the same size. So let's cool. So now let's kind of make it look like a maze going up to this area. But don't worry, see, I don't think too many people answered last time. Ah, Megan Abdul. Made mac and cheese for supper, and now I'm back. Love the glasses. Thank you. They're my gunners, so I don't burn my eyes from looking at the screen too long. Hi, Terminape. I saw you found my video. So let's... Let's just kind of copy this image and share. Oh, did I just freeze my program? Don't tell me my whole computer froze. Okay, it froze for a second. So let's save this just in case. So what are we up to? We're building, can you guys see it? Oh, what the heck? There we go. 1 second, chat. What is this one? One second, window chapter. I knew there was something I forgot to set up for the stream. All right, affinity is stupid. I forgot I have to do a screen share. The doy. One second, let me just do this on the... And then, where is my one for... Sorry, you're gonna be seeing double for a bit. There we go. Now you guys see what we're doing. So we're making our D&D map. So this is floor Frill's Drug Lab, floor 1. We've added our doors. We've added some crates. Saving just to be safe. I see some good files. Authors Philip, they run vids to watch. What? Oh, they're fun vids to watch. And then we want to make it look like there are a lot of crates and things. So we're gonna... My Affinity photo has been so annoying lately. It keeps crashing, annoyingly. So I might have to do this off stream. Because I'm not going to be able to open and close this and open and close this constantly. You know what I mean, chat? So we might just have to move over to satisfactory. Or we can add some details. Yes, closing the program. Okay, chat, can you guys see this okay? It's all gooch. If you had to do the thing with one Kingdom Hearts character who is somebody, meaning no heartless, who would it be, me personally? Lorena. Larksene's somebody. I'm not going to answer that question since they're all teenagers. So that's, yeah. Satisfactory sounds pretty poggers. Yes, sir, we can. Okay, let's add some details to this to make it more fun. Instead, okay, let's work on adding details to these rooms. What's happening? So we know caution tape, condemned signs, idle city workers, official gathering evidence, features box of sealed evidence, potential stealth or bribery challenge. Okay, so let's detail this out. Let's see, going into the first room. Here, I'm gonna pull up our rooms as they are. Let me just pull this up for you so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So that's the image I'm looking at. Okay, so let's think about it. Saying it's not a teenager, neither is Ericus or Aqua. Still, I'd rather not. That's not really I'm not really up to the... And I'm pretty sure Aqua is pretty close to a teenager. Yeah, she's 18, so she's a teenager. And I'm not gay, so I'm not gonna have sex with Ericus. Or Zan or any of them. Let's focus on this. So let's see, the shipment garage. Okay, so the front area has Ent warriors walking around along with city alchemists in what do we want to describe it? We don't want to call it a hazmat suit. So we'll put a pin in that. So everybody in the chat, start thinking of different like fantasy names for a hazmat suit. A city alchemist and hazmat suits, moving boxes of evidence, and stone smiths setting up explosives to demolish the building. explosives to demolish the building. All right. To get past the guards, the PCs will have to sneak. (18 stealth). Actually, we'll make this slightly lower. We'll make this a 14 stealth. Or sneak. Bribe. Or disguise themselves. Pass security. All right, they can choose how, doesn't matter. If they are discovered, we'll start a fight with... How many do we want to say are in this front area? Let's say there are more in the front than inside to make getting in harder than getting caught while you're in, right? So let's say that, so there are 5 players. We double that, that's 10. Each of them has to fight 2 of them. So let's say... Let's actually up it a bit. Let's say 8 Ent Warriors. And 4 Alchemists. Hazardous material suits. Let's okay, what's think of some fantasy terms for Ooh, wait, I had one for a second. Chaos magic, right? Wild magic suits. Wild magic robes. Let's say they're wild magic robes. That way it sounds more fantasy. They're wearing these robes to kind of that cover their faces with masks on them. And they could just be like basic looking masks, but they have like magical enchantments to block certain stuff from getting in, right? And they're made of a special, some ent metal. Or let's say they're made of antenna, you know, the antenna stone that we have. It makes perfect sense. Believable. 8 Ent Warriors and 4 Alchemists. And we'll give the Ent Warriors and Alchemists different special attacks that they can use. Alchemists can throw drugs. 1 is left alone. The PCs can dig through it to get, let's say, there's 5 of them, 10 health potions. And it'll be labeled, it'll be off to the side. What would be special evidence? Something to entice the players that this box should be checked, right? We'll think of ways to do that. We don't want to stick on one thing for too long because then we'll never finish. Okay, so that's one box of evidence. Then they can, if the players explore around, they will notice the large garage door for fitting in 2 wagons the door will have a large lock on it and 2 guards defending it. To unlock the lock is level 2. Failure to unlock it brings 5 warriors to their attention each time. All right, so they'll see this garage. There'll be this large lock that's chaining the thing. Anytime they try to unlock it, it'll set off a security alarm temporarily, and a bunch of event warriors will come and attack them. Right. So they can keep trying, but each time they fail, it makes it worse for them. If they leave the guards, and how do they deal with the guards? Well, however they deal with them doesn't matter. If the guards are left unconscious in front or around the corner, once the players move 2 rooms, the guards will wake up and alert everyone. 2 thieves. I'm back. What did I miss? Not much. Just us not being able to use Affinity Photo to edit the images. Big Sag. I need to get my computer updated or fixed or something, because I feel like Affinity Photo has been really on the fritz lately. Sounds legit. Yeah, well, you know, it may be a video game, or it may be a game, but we want the world to feel more realistic, and one of the things with the world feeling more realistic is that if enemies attack, right? Or if you were working at a job as a security officer and you got knocked out and you were just left asleep there, eventually someone would come and be like, hey, what happened to you? Right? But if all the kitties are cuddling on the blanket over here. So, you know, again, if you were knocked out and just left there, eventually someone would be like, hey, wake up, what happened? You'd be like, oh, I was hearing some girl showed up and she smacked me in the head and knocked me out, or some guy, a guy with a sword tried to kill me. And, you know, it would alert people. So we want to make it more logical, but not, like immediately it's a problem, right? So we give it some time. They move 2 rooms, then the guard will be noticed, they might hear. Okay, so then front lobby. We'll move into the front lobby. This area is a cramped room with, oops. Is a room filled with boxes and what do we call it? Boxes. Boxes and files everywhere. The players can use the high stack of boxes of evidence to sneak around the patrolling ant warriors and alchemists. So we're gonna do a little Legend of Zelda kind of puzzle here, where does anybody remember in not Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, or Echoes of Wisdom, or what's that Majora's Mask, where there's areas where you gotta it turns into a top-down view and you gotta walk through these areas without the enemies noticing you. That's what we're gonna turn this room into now. If they notice them, it starts a fight. If they get caught, it starts a fight. Every 2 rounds, one ant warrior and one to 2 ant warriors and 1 alchemist join the battle. So now they want to be extra stealthy because this room is going to be cramped. There's going to be papers that block them from getting to certain enemies, getting to their allies. You know, they're going to be able to they're going to be able to sneak around, but the problem is the more they fight with them, the more enemies show up, and they're going to get worn down eventually and defeated. Gerda Palace or whatever. Yeah, that's a good idea. A stealth room, exactly. 1 door. West door leads to the locker rooms. The northeast door leads to the elevator. Elevator is locked. Need to get a key from the lieutenant in the center of the room. He has a guard with him at all times. So they can beat up the guard and lieutenant, start a fight, get the key. Or they can try and pickpocket him, try and convince him like, the general or someone above me has told me we need the key. We want to get it out of here so no one takes it and goes upstairs. You know, they can try and convince him, they can try and steal from him, they can try and fight him, whatever they want. But the key is the only way to get into the elevator to the 3rd floor, right? Or to the 2nd floor. This elevator only leads to the 2nd floor. And let's say that's one, right, and then, so we'll go to the locker room. Or actually, well, yeah, we'll go to the locker room. We might have to flip these around, but it's fine. In this room, there are lockers that can be searched. Here they can find a sleeping ant warrior and steal his uniform and tie him up with a 18 stealth check. If they fail stealth, they have to fight him. Now, this isn't a hard fight, but it's like they might feel bad because it's just one guy doing his job, taking a nap on the job. Yeah, he shouldn't be taking a nap on the job, but you guys are also criminals, so you shouldn't care. And now they're going to have to waste some resources to stop him. He's not going to be super powerful. He's going to be a basic guy, but we'll make him strong enough. Let's say he just took a nap, so he's a little bit stronger. He does a little bit more damage. He's strong enough to drain just a little bit of their resources. They might have to use a potion. They might have to use a spell slot. Who knows? I had to leave because phone died, but a name for the fantasy hazmat suit is Aether Filter Garb. Not a bad one. Write that down. Fantasy hazmat suit names. Aether Filter Garb. Let's still make them robes. Let's see, where were we? Locker rooms. They can... The PCs can also find a, what's it called? Moonstone miner suit. They can sell that, they can keep it. I don't know what they'll do with it. In one of the lockers will be a torn piece of paper with half the code to Frill's office. Other half is with the rats. We could say torn piece of paper. It has clearly been chewed by some sort of animal. With green saliva. This hints towards the rats with the green radioactive saliva. You know, searching lockers. Yay, we get to steal sticky notes reminding the lab workers to refill the explosive gas next Tuesday. Interesting. Are the robes magic? They're made of... They have metal antenna wood sewn into the robes. So in this specific city, there is a special resource called antenna, which is made of it's a mix of earth elemental. Well, antenna is from these special white trees that have anti-magic properties in them, and then when you mix that with earth elemental bone and flesh, you can make ant metal, which is an anti-metal, which has all these anti-magic properties to it. The most powerful kind are really broken. The most basic kind just cut off concentration. Antenna? Yeah, exactly. Anna. Here, what else could they find in here in the locker rooms that would be useful? Let's say they can also find some materials for an alchemist bench. This way, if they want to make potions or something later, one of them is like, ooh, I don't want to have to pay all this money for potions, even though they have a lot of money right now. I would love one rat to just have a tiny chef hat. No, not going to do that. This is not Ratatouille. These are radioactive rats. So these are rats that were experimented on, are just giant. They're just giant frothing. Yes, there's a man rat, but he's been experimented on. He looks creepy and disgusting. He doesn't look cute. Now the shipment garage. A large room with enough space for 2 carriages. Cargo carriages? Cargo wagons. That's the word I was going for. If I get bitten by a rat, do I get the powers of a rat? No, but you do get the symptoms of having radiation poisoning. What else could there be here? Ooh. A side stable with the name of a horse company. Maybe not a horse company, of a animal breeder. This will be for flavor. And then the players could use this to try and buy like a mount or a pet or something, or maybe train. One of the players has a pet ferret named Whisk, and maybe she could be like, oh, I'll spend some money to have them train him to do some stuff, you know? That way they could have a useful companion that's leveling up with them, but isn't too OP, and it costs them some resources. They don't just get a pet that, oh, now this pet can fight for us. A man rat, will they learn who he was before he turned into a rat? No, he was a rat who was experimented on and mutated into a humanoid creature. If they break into a certain locker, could they find porn pictures as a joke? Consider the fact that pictures aren't really a thing. No. There aren't pictures in this universe. Maybe they could find a dirty novel. We'll say one locker has a dirty romance novel. The Tales of Jessalina and Pedro. DMC adding smut to his campaign. I mean, it would exist. But yes. It would. I think that's a funny thing that is believable enough. Like, sure, someone reads romance novels. I mean, look at one of the most famous characters in anime. Kakashi Sensei literally reads romance novels. And then Jiraiya Sensei writes those romance novels. Literally, Kakashi Sensei reads smut. I just realized this. Oh my god. I mean, I always knew that, but holy heck. One of the most badass cool characters in Naruto is like this fucking smut reader. Just goes to show you can never trust anyone. Okay, name of a breeding company. Players can take notes and maybe go there to get a mount, pet, or animal training. Pedro, does Mexico exist? No, but the name does. Kakashi gets away with it though because he's absolutely kicks ass. That's true, but remember, his idle animation is him standing there reading the smut novel. That reminds me, there was a game I used to love called Clash of Ninjas. It was a really good, it was a fun 3D fighting game for Naruto, and Kakashi had a counter, and his counter was he would take out the smut novel mid-fight, and if you tried to attack him with a physical attack, he would disappear and do the 1,000 Years of Death. Deep down, everyone reads a dirty novel. Not everyone reads a dirty navel. I don't read belly buttons. He reads it in front of children. To be fair, these are all also kids who are going to school to become soldiers. Child soldiers, might I add. This is a weird thing about the Naruto universe. They live in a village where it's like, oh yeah, 13-year-olds will become child soldiers. We're totally fine with that. It's fucking weird, man. Could be worse. He could be looking at a magazine. I guess. I mean, there's Naruto who literally does a sexy jutsu in the show, so there's that. Just remember, you're having a 13-year-old who turns into a nude 16-year-old. Then again, the magazines have really good articles, I'm told. Sus Optimus. Sus alert. Not soldiers, assassins. Also, it's optional. No, they're becoming soldiers. They're not assassins. Because do you see any other soldiers in the Naruto universe? And you can't say the samurai because that's a whole other continent. They're like, oh, that's a weird place. They're literally becoming soldiers. They're not assassins. And either way, they're being told to kill people, mainly each other. And I don't believe it is optional for a lot of them. Like it wasn't optional for Naruto. It wasn't optional for Sasuke. And even if it is, it's the equivalent of kids being like, I can't wait to join the army and go to Vietnam or something. I don't believe it is optional. That doesn't say. Either way, the fact that even if it is optional, it shouldn't be optional for children is my point. My point isn't that it's optional or forced. It's that children are allowed to do it. Yeah. Like, imagine you were just like, hey, you want to go to school and we're going to teach you to kill people. And by the time you're 14, you're going to learn how to break people's arms and legs. And we're going to be totally cool with you knowing that information, by the way. Here's a gun. You're going to use it and you're going to start shooting. You're going to start practicing shooting dummies. You might have to shoot people, but probably not till you're older. How much older? 15, 16. Go there and mount pet or animal. Let's see. What else do we want to put in this room? What else do we want to put in this shipment garage? Right? Oh, right. We said some potions. They can find a crate of potions that has been broken, chewed into. And the bottles smashed. Seemingly by accident. And inside, there'll be these potions. They can find... There was that one priestess in one of the movies that asked Naruto to help continue the line of priestesses. She asked him to shpoink and was so oblivious he said yes while in love with Sakura. Then you have to fight your friends with guns as training. Yep. I love Naruto though. That makes sense. Don't get me wrong, from a logical perspective, it's pretty messed up. It's just because the target demographic was shonen. I imagine they wanted to make most characters that age for relatability. Yeah, no, that is the reason why. It's the reason why every show on Disney Channel is teenagers. Every live action show on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network were teenagers. It's why every family show has parents and teenagers. You know? It's you know, you gotta get, you're trying to go for a certain demographic. You make it high school. It's not that weird. We think it's weird because we see so much anime that's in high school, like so much anime that's in high school. But there are adult animes where the characters are adults. Then again, I love Naruto, so I'm just saying, when you think about it, it makes sense in a world where they're all. By the way, they're not ninjas; they're wizards. They're literally wizards, basically, because they're just like summon the power of freaking meteors. That's a wizard. That's not a ninja. Right. Point being, for this particular genre, that is a bit required suspension of disbelief. Exactly. Opinions on Boruto, mine is that it's overrated and underrated. I don't like the change. I never watched it, but I followed the community, and I don't like the changes they made to Kurama and Jiraiya. So, not a fan. Kaiju number 8, my beloved for having a 30-year-old protagonist. I need to catch up on Kaiju number 8. I stopped reading it a while ago because I got busy. Not Guy or Lee. What? Hey. The amount of, I just wrote crat of poison, not crate. There we go. What else could we put in here? Oh, right. Elevator. That can be used to get to or third. However, key to third floor is in Frill's office. This way we can make them move around the building a little bit more. They can find a second key to the in one of the horse stables. I always think of it as third floor, but it's the basement. All right, so we got our first floors kind of detailed out a bit more. All right, so let's go to the second floor. Office worker. Office desks. Thrown about the room. Thrown about the room. Vines. Cover the walls. And attack if step near them. They will first see rats fighting with the vines. Then giant radiated. Fighting with the vines. The vines will retreat and the rats will attack the PCs. Or animal handle to stop them. Are elevators in this world normal? Yeah, but not elevators as you would think them or high tech. They're magic-based elevators. So they use crystals to kind of float. They're normal-ish. They're not everywhere. This city is a lot more advanced than other cities. So you wouldn't find them in like in most castles and stuff. This place it has a lot more advanced magic things. Well, I know they don't use ninjutsu and genjutsu, but it's still basically just body improvement magic. Shipment Grods needs a getaway vehicle. Ooh, actually, that's a good idea. Let's add that in. A broken wagon that can be repaired, but takes 1 hour per repair. Each failure alerts enemies. Flip a coin. Heads, rats. Tails, Ent warriors. Can be used to escape quickly. And kept as a group mount and upgraded. I love that idea. All right, the rats retreat. Then what else is in here? If they step on any vine traps, roll a physical save. 13. Each failure gives a stack of poison. Roll 1d4 to determine effects. 1 level up. 2, 3, 4. One level of exhaustion. What would they get at a 2? 1 HP damage. 3. Three. Forced silence for 1 minute. Can't cast spells. For 1 for 1 hour. So they could rest to try and get it out of their system. But then they're wasting time. They only have so much time. Tasty poison. I love poison. That was an accidente. Okay, so what else is up here? The desks and vines be used as cover. And desk can't. The vines also what is it called? Cut movement in half. I couldn't think of what it's called. Difficult terrain. Num Num Poison. Are you making a video game? No, we're making a dungeon for D&D. Because I run 2 campagons. And I have one in 2 Saturdays from now that I gotta run. And I'm a little behind. I don't have enough setup for them. Let's look at the layout we had for room area 2. This room leads to Frill's office, where the rats have created a nest. There is also a human named Nash. Might change that name for now, but let's just say they call him Nash.
They call me Nash. I was experimented on, and I was the only one to live. I now rule the rat kind of this building. Leave, or we shall gnaw on your bones.
Yeah, there we go. That's kind of the character we think of. Exciting getting together with D&D. Agreed. There's also Humanoid Nash. He is the leader of these rats. He was the only one to live through experiments they did to make a rat man. Nash, does this rat also have an associated game theory equilibrium? Huh? Nani? Ninja too? Wait, this is supposed to be Frill's office. And the going back heads into the to has an elevator to the garage. No. Lobby. The rats have created a nest in this room. There's also a humanoid rat named Nash. He is, if you decide to fight them, once Nash gets bloodied, he will run up the vents into the money counting room.
You die now.
If you try to get into the money counting room, they will have to move the baby rats, which will start combat with the rats. Unless they convince the rats to leave before the place is demolished. Okay, here they can search Frill's desk to find the other half of the code. What's to the money counting room. And the code. Wait, no. What was the code for here again? Was it in the locker room? For some reason, I have the code to not Frill's office, to the garden. I will say it's the garden. This way we write stuff down. And it'll have the key to the garden door, the first door, and then the code for garden door 2. To get into, well, we already decided how to get into there. This room can lead to the money room or the oh, I didn't know you guys were down there, kitties. Are the rats scared of the boss? They listen to him, so yeah. This room can lead to the money room or the observation. Observation room. Here there is a giant glass floor that looks down into the what is it called? The testing room. There is a magic console that requires them to solve a logic puzzle to start up. If they solve it, they can turn off the electric wires that are hanging from the ceiling. They can't, there will be puzzle to solve that can be used to turn off the electric arms. What else do we want to say the observation room has? Here is a good place to rest. Yeah, we'll say it's a good place to rest. Why not? Okay, the money counting room. Frill left with all... In here, they can find a gadgets. Find a... They can also find... one-time use note to get into one of the blocked off districts. There will be ledgers for with many different players in the city, including a council member. This blackmail can be used one time. Okay, I'm trying to think what else there is that we could use. All right. There will be some building blueprints that show the armory is on the basement floor. This way they know there is a secret room. It will have a hint on how to open the door. Oh, that looks like magic armor for Zelda. No, I don't like that. I don't like that in Zelda, and I don't really like it in D&D either. It doesn't really work in D&D also. I mean, you could make something like that, but that would be too powerful for this early in the game, too. What else could they find in a money counting room? We'll have to expand on this later. Would each wall have a map to each room? What do you mean, will each wall have a map to each room? Explain. Testing room. Large. Dentist chairs. What is... And let me think. What would be a... Operation chairs. There we go. Where people and animals were experimenting. Large exposed wires hang from the ceiling. How would a sword that does damage relative to how much money you have? Again, that doesn't really work in D&D because how much money they have is based on how much I give them, and you can't just farm for money. I wouldn't want damage based on money, not until much later into the game, and that would take a lot more work. You can't just... You could add it in, but I don't want to do that. Things that show you how which room you're in and all the different destinations. Why would they have one of those? Do you mean like an actual map in the real world or in the game world? In the game world, they wouldn't have a map for this. In the real world, they would have, we'll make a, like you see on the far top right of the screen over that way. That's my starting map that I will have them using as players, but they, you know, there will be hidden things in those maps. So they can see the map they're in, but they won't be able to see other maps unless they start drawing it out themselves. Hang from the ceiling. Can be used by PCs or enemies to deal 2 shock damage. Inside there are drugged out ent warriors, vines, and giant rats. I was referring to the game world. Yeah, no, there wouldn't be maps posted on the walls in the game world. This was an illegal drug den, not a legal one. They don't want people knowing where they're at. Small mimics disguised as coins. Fun thought, but again, the main thing that they're going to find here is a mimic. We don't want it to be normal that there's just mimics everywhere. You know, mimics should be somewhat more rare. Rarer than goblins, more common than dragons, basically. Inside their drugged out ent warriors attacking mine. There are also large that attempt to grab the players. DC 15. If the PC fails to avoid it, they will be drugged with random chemicals. Roll 1d6 for effect. What time are you ready to Baldur's Gate tonight? Probably in like, probably sometime between 8 and 9. Wait, what time is it now? Oh, it's 6. I have to end because I have to make dinner. So this is as far as we're going to get for tonight, and I'll do more of this later. So let's just save this. Thankfully, auto saves. Thank you all for joining us, chat. We will see you all next time, next Monday for Magical Mondays for some more, probably, what's the game called? Expedition 33, so we'll see you then. Until then, stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy, be thankful for everything and everyone in your life. And remember, don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Bye-bye, chat.